Next on 69 News at 6, 3 houses explode this afternoon, sending flaming debris flying everywhere. We're live in Allentown with the latest.
A brush fire in Berks County comes dangerously close to some homes.
A pipe burst inside Reading High School, sending water cascading into classrooms below.
And meteorologist Mark Shanaberger is here with the latest on our frigid weather.
And Dave Lesko is here with all your sports. Good evening, everyone. I'm Brittany Westbrook.
And I'm John Derr. 69 News Weekend Edition starts now.
Your life, your world, your news. This is 69 News Weekend Edition, live at 6.
And I heard like this pop and then this whoosh. It's like almost like it was like a firecracker, kind of like if you hear it shoot up into the air. That's what it sounded like. And then you can hear this strong flow of the gas.
An afternoon explosion rocks the city of Allentown. 3 houses are flattened and nearly 100 residents have been evacuated. An afternoon explosion levels 3 homes on the south side of Allentown. Amazingly enough, no one was killed or seriously hurt in the blast.
Now, there's no word yet on what caused the explosion, but UGI officials tell 69 News a UGI employee was checking a gas meter in the neighborhood around that same time. WFMZ's Karin Mallett has been at the scene all afternoon. She joins us live tonight with more. Karin.
John and Brittany, homeowners from as far away as 4 miles say they could hear the explosion. Closer, they felt the ground shake. Let's take a look at the scene as it is tonight. The 3 homes that were leveled are here on the corner of Mohawk and South Delaware Streets. You can see the water sprays right above that fire truck and also a crane that is starting to move around some of that debris. They are concerned tonight about hot spots and flare-ups. They want to make sure that none of that happens tonight. Now, the 2 houses next door are still standing, but they were also damaged. And when you take a look at this damage tonight, it is truly amazing that no one was killed.
My first thought had been maybe because we're on the landing path that maybe a small airplane had crashed, but it was too big for that.
But this was not a plane crash. Instead, an explosion that rocked the south side of Allentown brought 3 houses to the ground and drove about 100 people and their pets out of their homes just before the holidays.
It sounded like the ground was shaking, and it came from real deep.
The blast happened about 1:30 this afternoon.
I looked out my back window off on my porch, and I saw a big fireball coming up this, up.
And then clouds of black smoke. 787, 789, and 791 Mohawk Street now in pieces. Parts of a roof stuck in a tree. Window panes lying in the street. UGI officials say a contractor was working on a gas meter, but won't say yet what caused the explosion. The gas main has been shut off behind the homes.
It's going to be up to the fire department to let us know when we can get in to actually make some of the, to cut off some of those services to get the gas turned back on for those homes that weren't affected so that they can have heat tonight.
But again, it could be a while before anyone is back here in their homes. UGI and fire crews are on scene tonight. You can see a lot of action here behind us. They have been on scene since this blast happened about 1:30 this afternoon. They expect to work through the night until they can get that heat back on and people back in their homes. As we mentioned, people on Mohawk Street were evacuated and were sent to South Mountain Middle School, where they will likely be spending at least the night. For now, we're live in Allentown. Karin Mallett, 69 News.
All right, thanks, Karin. And 69 News was at the shelter where residents are getting some help from the Red Cross tonight. Now, we spoke with Crystal Mack. She lost her home during the blast. She ran to her neighbor's house and did what she could to get her neighbors and her own family to safety.
I said, guys, we need to get off of here. If there's a spark, it's going to blow. And I'm telling my other neighbors to come on out the house, and they were coming out the house. Me and my son went across the street. I had already called my husband, telling him, you need to get back here now. Now, hurry up and get here. So I called back and was saying, are you on your way? And they were saying, we're turning the corner. And no sooner did I hang up, everything just blew.
And you can hear more of Crystal's amazing story tonight at 10 right here on 69 News. Now, Janice Osborne from the Red Cross is joining us live now with more on the steps the Red Cross is taking to help the people evacuated tonight. Janice, thanks for joining us. Can you tell us what areas have been evacuated, how many people are involved, and where they've been taken? And I don't know if Janice heard me. Janice, can you hear me?
Janice, can you hear?
No, I can't.
Okay, we're having some problems with that right now.
I can hear you now.
Okay, great. Janice, again, thanks for joining us. I know it's a hectic night for you. Can you tell us what area has been evacuated, how many people, and where have they been taken?
The area that has been evacuated has been on Mohawk Street, and actually the folks who on Delaware Street have been allowed back in their homes. Right now we have 50 people at a shelter at South Mountain Middle School, 42 adults and 8 children. They will stay there at that shelter until we get the clearance from UGI and emergency management and fire officials that they're allowed back into their homes.
Janice, is the city helping at all as far as relief efforts with these families? I know that the city was out maybe talking about helping with temporary housing.
I'm sorry, if you could repeat. I'm sorry, I lost you there for just a moment.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
Is the city, I know the city was out at the shelter or at South Mountain Middle School this evening. Is the city helping at all as far as finding temporary housing for those who won't be able to get back into their homes?
I don't have that information right now. Actually, I'm just on my way right now to go to South Mountain Middle School. We're working very closely with the city and the command center right now to do all that we can to keep the people who have been evacuated, to keep them comfortable and safe right now. And we will be working those families throughout the night.
Okay, Janice Osborne from the Red Cross, thanks for joining us tonight.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Just yesterday, a house explosion rocked parts of Bethlehem. Today, investigators are back on that scene trying to figure out what happened. Bethlehem Fire Department launched a full investigation this morning into what caused this explosion in the 500 block of 10th Avenue in Bethlehem. UGI workers were called to 519 10th Avenue around 3:30 yesterday afternoon. They found the street covered in glass from windows and doors that were blown out of the house. The workers spent most of yesterday searching for a gas leak that could have caused the explosion. So far, no official cause has been released.
Firefighters in Berks County were busy all afternoon battling a brush fire. Officials say it started around 12:30 on Neversink Mountain. It took about 2 hours to get it under control. Homes in the area were not damaged. No word tonight on what started that fire. Also in Berks County, a broken pipe inside Reading High School leaves a huge mess for school officials. Officials say a hot water pipe burst and triggered the fire alarm there. By the time firefighters arrived, there was plenty of damage. Several classrooms and computer labs took on water. No word on how long it will take to clean up that mess. Reading police are investigating 3 arson fires. They say they may be related. 2 of the fires were on Cedar Street. 1 was on Moss Street. All 3 broke out a few hours apart on Thursday night. Police say witnesses saw 3 teenagers running from the scene. Police do not believe these fires are related to some fires that broke out a few weeks ago. If you have any information, you're asked to call police.
Firefighters battle a fire in the cold weather in Monroe County today. Fire broke out at this house on Efford-Mueller Road in Chestnut Hill Township around 6:30 this morning. Officials say everyone got out of the house without injury. They're being helped tonight by the Red Cross. There's no word on what started that fire. 5 more Taco Bell restaurants shut down business today in New Jersey. This is the latest in a string of closures after an E. coli outbreak was linked to Taco Bell. 2 more people have confirmed cases of the bacteria. Since being linked last week to a Taco Bell in South Plainfield, New Jersey, the outbreak has left at least 62 people ill in at least 6 states, including Pennsylvania. Arson may be to blame for a hospital fire that killed 45 women. It happened in Moscow early this morning. The victims were trapped between the flames and a locked gate. The fire broke out in a kitchen cabinet. This is Russia's largest facility of its kind and had been previously cited for fire safety problems.
In Iraq now, a car bomb explodes near a Shiite shrine, killing at least 8 people. The bombing went off this morning outside of the Al-Abbas shrine in Karbala. Authorities are blaming a suicide bomber for the attack. Karbala is just south of Baghdad and is regarded as Iraq's 2nd holiest Shiite city. The Republican rule over Congress has come to an end. After sweeping into office 12 years ago, the Republican-led Congress exited today. The GOP left most major spending bills for Democrats to deal with next year, but did revive expired tax breaks and approve a stopgap spending measure.
All eyes are on Space Shuttle Discovery tonight. Despite challenging weather conditions and some launch pad delays, NASA managers have decided to try another launch attempt tonight. Crews have been given the go-ahead to fill Discovery's external tank with fuel and prepare for a scheduled liftoff at 8:47 tonight. With low clouds, relatively high winds, and rain in the forecast, the weather is still iffy, and it's not expected to get much better until Tuesday.
Here's a little tidbit. My co-anchor dropped in the newsroom just a few minutes ago. She says, "Oh, my cousin's on the space shuttle."
Yeah, it's a big deal at home. I don't know why it didn't occur to me to really mention it. She'll be a little upset.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, pretty good news.
Well, it's that time of year again. The time letters start pouring into the North Pole. Still ahead on 69 News Weekend Edition. Find out what happens to the thousands of Christmas wish lists.
Plus, breast cancer strikes mostly women over the age of 50, but that isn't always the case. What you should do if your family has a history of the disease. And Mark Shanaberger is working on the forecast. Mark?
Yeah, we saw a little bit of a warm-up for our Saturday. Does that trend continue and give us a seasonable Sunday, or will we see an Arctic end to the weekend? Your forecast coming up after the break.
Today.
Deep in Alaska's interior, the mail is starting to pour in, much of it with the simple address, Santa. This time of year, letters sent to Kris Kringle find their way to the small town of North Pole, Alaska. Last year, 120,000 letters arrived from 26 countries. Those that do have return addresses usually get a reply and a North Pole postmark in a holiday effort that's been delighting children for decades all over the world.
Forget the milk and cookies. Santa was feasting on breakfast in Catasauqua this morning. Dozens of children came out to Salem United Church of Christ on Walnut for the first annual Breakfast with Santa event. From caroling to a turn on Santa's knee, the kids stayed busy and celebrated the togetherness organizers say is key during the holidays.
Being able to put on a silly hat and ringing bells and say, smile, rejoice. Life is meaningful, and to make a difference in each other's lives just by gathering families together.
It's to bring joy to the world.
Yeah.
To help out other people, make them feel good.
Breakfast with Santa will happen again next Thursday at 11 a.m. The church invites all military families out to celebrate the holiday spirit.
So I could have had breakfast with Santa?
You could have had breakfast with Santa inside where it was warm, too.
Everybody was asleep at my house and I had cereal all by myself. I'll tell you.
Look at that. At least they feed you, though.
Yeah, I get fed sometimes.
That's nice.
Santa might want to stay inside because it's cold out there.
It's definitely cold out there. Let's check in now with Mark Shanaberger to see if it's going to get any colder.
Yeah, not in the recent future, the near future. In fact, I like that lady's message, put on a hat and just put a smile on somebody's face, a silly hat. I like to do that every once in a while. 36 degrees outside right now, and the winds, the big story, once you factor the winds and the temperature together, 14 miles an hour out of the west-southwest. You can see the current conditions, most locations in the middle 30s right now. And that's up from what we saw 24 hours ago, so that's a good trend. Looks like that'll continue as we move through the weekend. Here's what the wind chills look like right now. 28 in Stroudsburg, 27 in Lehigh Valley, 33 in Trenton, 32 in Philadelphia, and 30 degrees right now in Reading. So still on the chilly side for our Saturday, but we're going to see significantly milder temperatures for our Sunday. It looks like we approach 50 degrees as that high-pressure system continues to slide off to the east. You can see clear skies up and down the East Coast, mixing in with some clouds from time to time. It looks like mostly sunny skies for our Sunday and again for our Monday as that high-pressure system continues to be in control, and that means dry weather for the next couple days as well. I'm drying out here because we're dealing with the dry weather. You can see there is some moisture off to the north, and we will see a backdoor cold front move into the area as we move into our Tuesday, and that could give us some more cloud cover and drop the temperatures a little bit below 50 degrees, but still above average for this time of year. Here's that backdoor cold front that we'll deal with on Tuesday. That'll give us slightly more cloud cover for Tuesday, and then it looks like rain returns to the area as we move into the day on Wednesday with this cold front and low pressure system as that passes through the area. But the first part of the work week, we are dealing with unseasonably mild conditions, and that looks like it'll stick around straight through to Wednesday. 16 days left until Christmas, so get your shopping done as soon as possible. The next 24 hours shape up like this. For tonight, clear to partly cloudy. Outlying areas could get into the upper teens. An overnight low of 22 degrees. Then for tomorrow, sunny to partly cloudy and milder. High temperature of 50 degrees. Overnight low of 24. There's a look at your extended forecast. Not a whole lot to complain about in the extended forecast. Wow. Really improving conditions straight through the weekend. So it looks like we're going to deal with a seasonably warm Sunday. And then it looks like that continues straight through the first part of the work week. Rain returns on Wednesday. A little bit of a break on Thursday, and then some showers return to the area on Friday, but not a whole lot to complain about, and it doesn't look like a whole lot of rain on Wednesday or Friday.
It was really cold yesterday, so I'm just glad to see the numbers go up.
Yeah, that looks really good. All right, thanks a lot, Mark.
We'll be right back.
Hamburg.
In health news, the majority of new breast cancer cases occur in women over the age of 50.
But that isn't always the case. Judy Fortin explains tonight younger women are vulnerable too.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, go! Breast cancer in your 30s is rare, but it happened to Beth Soot while she was pregnant with her first child.
you're in the prime of your life and starting a family and working a job, and then also having to battle a life-threatening illness.
About 5% of breast cancers occur in women under 40. Like Beth, many women find their own lump.
About 20 to 25% of all breast cancers are found only by a physical exam, your doctor's or your own. They are not seen by mammography, ultrasound, or other fancy tests.
Gene mutations are often the cause of breast cancer in young women.
For women who are under age 40, who have a strong family history of breast cancer, or who know they have a breast cancer gene abnormality, screening has to happen at a much younger age.
Beth is vigilant about getting regular checkups. While she has no guarantee the disease won't return, she's been cancer-free for 5 years. For today's Health Minute, I'm Judy Fortin.
People in Northampton County braved the cold weather today to celebrate an annual holiday tradition. The 47th annual Nazareth to Bethlehem Christmas Peace Pilgrimage was held. The walk began at Nazareth Moravian Church and ended 10 miles later at Christ UCC Church in Bethlehem. Today's event symbolizes the journey of Mary and Joseph. And they were up early in Berks County as some local athletes got ready for a big day. Wyomissing high school cheerleaders, students, and members of the surrounding community came out this morning to support their heroes as they got ready for one of the most important games in the history of the school. Wyomissing squared off against Wilson in the 2A Eastern Final. And get ready for the highlights of that game and more in sports.
And we'll get to that one in just a minute. But the Liberty High School football team had a little unfinished business left at Hershey Park Stadium. The Hurricanes made it to the state championship game last year before falling to McKeesport 49-10. This afternoon, Tim Monsman's squad was one step away from returning to Chocolate and exercising those demons of 2005. Liberty took on Pennsbury in the Eastern Final at War Memorial Stadium. The big question was, would the Falcons be able to give Liberty a game and contain an offense that was averaging over 30 points per game? Well, he did half of that. Second quarter, tied at 7, 3rd and 15 for Liberty. Dan Persa hitting Akeem Smith. He gets in the end zone, completing the 25-yard score. It's 14-7 Hurricanes at the half. Less than 4.5 minutes to play, tied at 14. Persa runs the quarterback sweep to perfection, 4 yards into the zone, 21-14 Liberty. Under 2 minutes left, though. Pennsbury coming back. The pitch to Jackson Fagan. He gets in from 4 yards out. And we're all tied up at 21 apiece. Pennsbury would miss a 42-yard field goal at the end of the regulation, so we go into overtime. First possession of OT, Pennsbury's Fagan fumbling at the goal line. You don't want to do that, but C.J. Mark recovering in the end zone. Falcons take the 28-21 lead. Ensuing possession. 4th and 8 for Liberty. Time running out. Last chance for the Canes. Persa, though, hitting Ray Mamuzic 8 yards. And we're tied at 28 apiece, kind of like a seesaw, back and forth. This is how it went. Second overtime now. Liberty up 31-28. Pennsbury with a chance to win it on 3rd down. But Victor Iterbetis is knocked away by Joe Orlando. That saves the game for Liberty. The Falcons would kick a field goal to tie things up. We go into a third overtime. Pennsbury up 38-31 now. 3rd and 2 for Liberty. Dan Persa rolling out. He's going to find Justin Rivera in the end zone. 3 touchdown passes, 2 touchdown runs for Persa today. We're tied again at 38. 4th overtime now. Liberty gets the ball first. Akeem Smith powers in from 2 yards out. 45-38 Canes. The ensuing possession, last chance for Pennsbury. Can they hold them? 4th and 10. Victor Iterbetis can't find anybody open. He tries to run, but Liberty stops him. The Canes are going back to Hershey, folks. They win it in 4 overtimes, 45-38.
I mean, there's no way any game could be better than this. 4 or 5 overtimes, I don't know what it was. It was ridiculous, and I have nothing to say about it. I'm just so exhausted, so happy.
I've never been involved in anything like this before, ever. It's just phenomenal. I mean, the North Penn win last year was huge, but the way this one went, just the most amazing thing I've ever been involved in.
Congratulations, Liberty. Meanwhile, in Bethlehem, Wilson looked to get back to Hershey against Wyomissing. The undefeated Warriors hope they could recapture the magic they had last week at BASD Stadium. Wilson had to come back against Lakeland, and the Spartans also battled back against Montoursville in last week's quarterfinal. Similar start to this one for the Warriors. Wilson would have to play catch-up. Opening drive for Wyomissing, 3rd and 12 on the Wilson 31. Mike Mancias running through the pinball machine. He's finally brought down by his counterpart, DJ Lenahan. on the 13. That helped set up a 1-yard touchdown by Pat McDonough. They blew the snap on the PAT, though, 6-0 Spartans. Later, 3rd and 17 on their own 23. Mancius hits Greg Lord out in the flat, but he pays the price. Lenahan lowering the boom. Wyomissing would have to punt. Ensuing drive, Wilson is going to answer. Sean Hoffman goes up the middle 5 yards. The Warriors also fail on the extra point. It's tied 6-6 now. Second quarter action, Mancius looking zone along 16 yards to Lord. The Spartans, they go for the extra point. They get it. They play it safe. It's 13-6. Wilson's next possession, not what the doctor ordered. Lenahan going to go over the middle to Justin Skirbo. It's a first down, but watch, he fumbles it away. Pat McDonough recovers for Wyomissing on the Warrior 44. 4th and 9 on the Wilson 12. They're getting close. The Spartans go for it. Mancius in trouble. He's going to put out the floater. Didn't want to do this. DJ Lenahan licking his chops. He pulls it in and rumbles the 92 yards to the house. Clear sailing. Nobody got a finger on him. They go for 2 for the lead. The screen pass to Hoffman coming up here, and it would be 14-13 Warriors. Making things look easy, folks. Third quarter action. How about some insurance? Lenahan is going to drop back and dial it up for Justin Skirbo. 43 yards for another 6. Wilson, they're going back to Hershey, too. They win it 21-13.
Defense won this game. We wanted it real bad. It was all heart. All heart. All 63 guys wanted this bad. Now we're going to Hershey.
It's real sweet. I mean, last year, I couldn't be out there on the field with them. And, last year I was saying to myself, I wanted to come back here, go back to Hershey with my team, and I was going to do everything I could to help them do it. And I gave all my effort today, and, we're going back to Hershey.
Kind of like Bill Murray and Groundhog Day. Last year, both these teams went and played for a state championship on Saturday. This year, both these teams are going back to Hershey to play for a state championship. The only thing is, we hope the outcome is a little bit different. They bring home that gold medal and that gold football instead of the silver.
They'll take that extra step this year.
Hopefully.
All right.
We'll see.
Thanks a lot. Coming up next on 69 News, the latest on the explosion in Allentown.
Stay with us. Recapping our top story now, an explosion rocked South Allentown earlier this afternoon, destroying several homes and leaving behind a big mess.
And WFMZ's Karin Mallett has been at the scene all afternoon. She joins us live now again with the very latest. Karin.
John and Brittany, again, homeowners could hear this from miles away. They said it sounded like a loud blast. Closer, they could feel the ground shaking. A lot of people here live near the airport. They thought maybe a plane had crashed, but that was not the case. It was an explosion. 3 homes were leveled. Let's take a look at the scene tonight. We've got a lot of crews on scene. They are trying to make sure there are no flare-ups here or any hot spots. UGI is also here. They have dug up the area around the gas pipe, which is laying behind those homes, to as part of their investigation. And then earlier today, let's take a look at some of that video as a recap for you, our top story. Residents in this area were evacuated. They were sent to South Mountain Middle School for at least the evening. They say there's about 40-some adults, about 9 children there. 3 homes were blown apart on the corner of Mohawk and South Delaware Streets. Those homes were on Mohawk. The 2 homes next to those 3 homes were also damaged by the fire and by the explosion. Luckily tonight, no one was injured, no one killed. And when you talk to people around here and residents who live nearby, everyone tonight is amazed that there were survivors here. Apparently, the fire chief tells us it looks like no one was inside those homes today. We're not sure whether they were out today, whether they were at work, but no one was inside those homes, and that is apparently what kept them alive. So people have lost their homes here in Allentown tonight, but the good news is that there are survivors. We'll have more for you on this story coming up tonight at 10. For now, we're live in Allentown. Karin Mallett, 69 News.
All right, thanks a lot, Karin.
Incredible video.
It is. And that's it for us. We'll see you again tonight at 10.
See you later.